Hey guys, Tyler here with Revvin Reviews. So today we're going to be bringing a couple different things to the topic today. So first off, we saw some spy shots here yesterday actually of the 2017 potentially, or 2018 potential I guess, Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. It's been in the works for a while. We've been waiting for it for a while. When the GT350 was coming out, people thought that it was going to be the GT500, but it was the GT350 and the GT350R. But we saw some spy shots of it testing with the Camaro ZL1. This car, it features obviously still the 5.2 liter V8 flat plane crank, but it's going to be I don't know necessarily how to explain it. It's just going to be so much of a better car than the GT350 and GT350R, I guess you could say. So we saw these pictures, and it's not for sure that it's the GT3 or the GT500 rather, but we're speculating that it is. The only other thing that Motor Trend is saying that it could be is one of two things. So it either could be a more track focused GT350R, so it could be like a GT350 RS or something like that, and then or the other option is it could be proving or solving rather the issues that they have with cooling when it comes to the track. Because if you guys are not aware, the GT350Rs and the GT350s have been overheating on the track when it comes to that, and obviously that's not good because you don't want your car to overheat, because then you don't have a car anymore. So they're in the process of fixing that as well. Maybe for the next model year that's what they're doing, but I personally think that it's going to be the GT500. So I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think. And then the second story, real quick, is the Bugatti Chiron. Obviously, the Bugatti Chiron just came out. We just made a video of it last week, telling about how 3 of them are leaving the factory in France and are getting sent to their different owners, a couple of which are in the Middle East. But we know all the statistics about that. And first of which, obviously, the top speed is limited right now, as of today. It's limited at 261 miles an hour. 261 miles an hour is is very, very, very fast, but it's slower than the Bugatti Veyron Super Sport, which got up to 268 miles an hour. So it's 7 miles an hour slower. But Bugatti said that the Chiron is going to be faster than the Veyron. So obviously this is an electrically limited top speed, so it can get faster, but I'm kind of curious as to how fast it will be able to go. But Motor Trend also released a article explaining on how the Bugatti gets so fast. Obviously it's 1500 horsepower. It's got quite a bit of torque. I believe it's 1200 foot-pound of torque, and it goes 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, or 2.5 seconds rather, and it has a top speed of 261 miles an hour. But you have a lot of factors that have to vary into that. In order to get up to that kind of a top speed, it's not like you just put a big engine in a car and go. That's not how it works. You have a lot of air resistance and things like that you have to put into perspective, and Bugatti did a great job into thinking about that. First off, you see they have the suspension is set up in order to be able to change from the Grand Touring mode, where you're able to just drive around and things like that, and it's able to go from that to a performance mode that the suspension's super stiff, and it's basically made to go top speeds. It lowers the car a little bit, makes it a better angle to attack the air, and it also raises the wing in the rear, so you get that downforce in the rear to push the back tires down. Because it is all-wheel drive, you would want all 4 tires to be on the ground, or at least have as much contact with the ground as possible. Secondly, in order to have a good top speed, you have to have traction. Like I said, with aerodynamics, the traction is required in order to get the car to go. If you have 4 tires spinning at the same time, you're not going to go 261 miles an hour. It's impossible if they're doing a burnout all at the same time. Now, in order to get 261 miles an hour out of some tires, that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. In fact, the Bugatti research and development engineers, they ended up going out to the factory or the testing facility for Michelin 18 times over the process of the research and development for the Bugatti Chiron, just to make sure that this tire would be able to withstand the amount of G-forces and things like that it's going to take, and then it would be able to keep in contact with the ground all the time. With the Veyron, there was a couple stipulations with the tires. I'll just be straight up with you guys. These tires were straight up expensive. $43,000, supposedly $43,000 to get all 4 tires replaced, and then every 3 tire changes. So you have 2 tire changes, and then on the third one, you have to replace the rims as well, because in order to create the right amount of a lock between the tire and the rim, they had to glue the tires to the rims. Well, the rim wasn't as good of a surface after 2 tire changes. So the third tire change, you have to get an entire new set of rims, which, to put it into perspective, is $69,000. So basically, once you get to this is with the Veyron, once you get to your third tire change, that's an $111,000 tire change for a tire change. Oil changes were expensive and all that stuff too. But the tire change was $111,000, which is insane, unnecessary, and uncalled for. But it did have top speed of 268 miles an hour towards the Super Sport, so I will give them that for that. To put it into perspective, those tires were rated for 6,000 miles, and you could only drive 15 minutes before they would burn off of your car at 268 miles an hour, just due to the G-forces and things like that. With the Chiron, they tried to get more of a cost-effective tire, because I mean, even if you're a multi-billionaire, you don't want to go spend $50,000 on tires. Like, that's stupid. You could get $50,000 worth of tires and replace all of your Lamborghinis and Ferraris and McLarens tires for $50,000, or you could just replace a Bugatti's tires, which doesn't really make sense at all. So with the Chiron, they tried to get a more cost-effective, cost-efficient solution, and so they ended up taking the tires from Michelin. They haven't released a price yet for how much they're going to cost, but we do know that they are going to be fairly expensive tires, even though they are more quote-unquote cost-efficient. So I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think. What do you guys think about the Bugatti tires? Are they way overpriced? Because I think they're way overpriced. I mean, even though they can withstand 3,700 G-forces, I think they are way overpriced. But I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think. And then what do you guys think about that Mustang? Do you think that was the GT500 that's going to be coming out? Or do you think it's just a revised version of the GT350R? So I'm kind of curious about that. Go ahead and give us your answers in the comments below on our social media accounts, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.